everyone, welcome back to Jus de Rose. On this channel we talk about fragrances, and today's video is about wedding fragrances for the brides and the grooms out there. Now this video is very special to me because I'm getting married in a week's time, so I know the ordeal that it can be to find the perfect wedding scent. And why is it so difficult to find a wedding scent? Well, because it depends on so many different factors. Where are you getting married? What season? Summer or winter? And also, what style is your wedding? Is it a wedding that is more whimsical? Is it one that is more rustic or sophisticated? I mean, you can go in any direction really, but ultimately your wedding scent is super personal. You can go in different directions with your wedding scent. You can either go for a fragrance that you're familiar with, that you enjoy wearing, that makes you happy. That could be, for example, your signature scent that you decide to wear for your wedding. Or you could go the other way and buy an entirely new fragrance for your wedding, which is what I've done. I've actually purchased two, and I'll reveal them at the end of the video so that you can have an entirely new memory linked to this fragrance, because as we know, fragrance is very strongly linked to memory, and personally, I want to remember my wedding day for the rest of my life through fragrance. A bit of a romantic, I guess. Now, because I'll be talking about fragrances for the bride and for the groom, I will put in some timestamps on the video so you can directly go to the sections that you're interested in. I'll begin this video with more traditional or classic wedding fragrances for both the brides and grooms, and then I'll progress into fragrances that are a little bit more daring and unique smelling to finish off with the two perfumes I picked out for my wedding. So without further ado, let's begin with the brides. So the first one is Diorissimo by Dior. This is the very definition of prim and proper, purity and chastity. So it is a classic wedding fragrance that is built around a gorgeous accord of lily of the valley. So it's a fresh green watery floral complemented by the transparency of jasmine. It basically is white lace personified, ethereal and pure. This perfume is fantastic, I would say, for spring weddings or for the summer as well, because it is very fresh and innocent. A true lily of the valley or muguet type of perfume. Now, if we go from fragrances that are quite safe and pleasing and quite classic to something that's a little bit more daring, the next one on the scale would be Gardenia by Chanel. So Gardenia is part of the Les Exclusifs collection, so the higher end collection from Chanel. And this is, I would say, a more youthful and modern fresh floral. So you still have the white florals, but there's more greenness and transparency to it, even more so than Diorissimo by Dior. Imagine white magnolia petals floating on the surface of glistening water. An uplifting and romantic wedding fragrance. The third perfume is Peony and Blush Suede by Jo Malone. This is a chic and elegant floral fruity fragrance that is based around peony, red apple, a little bit of rose, and a gorgeous trail or dry down of musk. It smells extremely fruity in the top. It's as if you were taking a bite out of a red apple, but it will dry down really lightly floral and musky. It is a very elegant and feminine fragrance. This is one that you can wear to all year round weddings. So not just spring and summer, you can totally pull off this scent as well in autumn and winter time. And the final fragrance within this safe classic wedding perfume category for women is Delina by Parfums de Marly. Now this perfume is the most daring, I will say, out of this category. It is joyful, it is youthful, it is extremely girly. It is the sweetest of them all as well. Imagine you have a bridal bouquet of white and cream peonies mixed with rose and a box of rose-infused Turkish delight. So you have that addictive sweetness of this Turkish delight, which makes this perfume super alluring. And I will say that this perfume will last all day on your skin. The other fragrances are lighter, you probably will have to reapply them, but with Delina, this one is a solid 10+ hour wear on the skin. Onto the grooms. So for the grooms, I picked fragrances based on that they are generally fresh, very likable perfumes, and they tend to be a little bit more intimate. So they're not going to be crazy projecting or mega intoxicating and everyone is going to smell you in a room. They're more intimate fragrances so that you can have a bit more of an intimate moment with your bride. So the first perfume is La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Yes, this is a staple perfume for a lot of men in their fragrance wardrobe. It can be worn all year round and is very often as well a signature perfume. It's a safe and uncomplicated choice for the grooms, and it's predominantly a spicy, woody scent with a lovely dose dose of cardamom, which is fiery and sexy, as well as cedarwood, so very masculine ingredient. This is a masculine, sexy fragrance, not too loud, just perfect for a wedding occasion. Next up, we have Reflection Man by Amouage. Now this is a floral, woody fragrance for men, and yes, gentlemen, you can pull off floral fragrances because it is still very masculine. So this perfume has an interesting contrast between traditional masculine ingredients like rosemary, like petit grain, so aromatic and a little bit citrusy, blended with an unexpected duo of ylang ylang and jasmine, so more of this like fleshy, creamy white floral heart blended with this masculinity, and the result is an ultra luxurious and classy fragrance for men. The third fragrance is the one Eau de Parfum by Dolce & Gabbana. Now this is a fragrance that is on the sweeter side, and it's spicy and ambery as well. It is a fragrance that has predominant notes of cardamom, of ginger, so it's nice and fiery, and it's blended with a really creamy, smooth note of tobacco. I almost get like a light hint of coconut from the tobacco in this fragrance, but overall it is a very comforting, sexy and classy fragrance for men. Now the only drawback about this fragrance is the performance, aka it doesn't last for huge prolonged periods of time. However, just spray it all over your suit and it will last so much better on your clothes than on your skin, so you can still get whiffs of the fragrance throughout your wedding day. And the final traditional or classic wedding scent for the groom is of course Oud Wood by Tom Ford. Class and elegance personified. This is a scent for black tie attire. It contains sandalwood, oud, vetiver, the three kings of class, and smells simply amazing. The oud is super smooth, it's not loud, it's not pungent. It is an oud that is very easy to wear. So if you want to smell super duper classy, like a gentleman for your wedding day, you need to get your hands on Oud Wood. And now onto the more daring and unique fragrances. I have two for the brides and two for the grooms. Beginning with the brides, the first one is Desert Orange Blossom by Memo. And this is part of the Flying Collection, so I believe you can only get it online or in the city where the collection resides, because it's a collection that moves around different cities throughout the year. Desert Orange Blossom is for you ladies who like sweeter fragrances, and specifically the notes of almond and orange blossom. It is really the sweet spot between Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian, so it's not as syrupy or as sticky sweet as Love Don't Be Shy, and also the sweet spot between Reckless by Roja, where it's not as floral as Roja. It's really in between, and you get this gorgeous, yummy, almondy note that is spiced with cinnamon. You have a light base of patchouli, but it's not prominent. It just brings all the notes together. It's a very sensual and feminine fragrance, so definitely on the bolder side, but it's not too risque, so it's still bridal appropriate. The second fragrance is definitely the boldest out of all the perfumes for the ladies today. It is Caritas by Memoise. This is an oriental perfume that is sweet and delectable and is essentially a spicy vanilla scent. What I get from this scent is a really milky and yummy heart, caramel-like almost, with some light chocolatey facets sprinkled with a ton of spices. You have some cinnamon, some cloves, some saffron, and on my skin it dries down very woody. So it's sweet, but it still remains woody and not too sickly, sticky sweet, if you know what I mean. I would recommend Caritas to you gourmand lovers who love a little bit of a sweet treat, and specifically vanilla, because this perfume is really elevated and feels very special. Definitely bridal appropriate. On to the gentlemen, the first fragrance is Ombre Nuit by Dior. This is a magical amber fragrance. And it is not a resinous, sticky amber, it's really a fresh amber that is very airy, yet has some light, sweet undertones, almost honeyed, but it always remains fresh. It basically is a dance between a light and uplifting amber with some rose. And to me, the rose is quite muted in the scent. I personally don't find it to be dominant. However, it does add a lovely, soft, velvety feel to this perfume. To put it simply, Ombre Nuit is charming, sophisticated, and luxurious. This is another fragrance that you can wear for all year round weddings. It works both in the winter and in the summertime. And the second unique smelling perfume for the grooms is the polar opposite to Ambre Nuit. It is a fresh citrus perfume, but citrus redefined.
Cologne Cédrat by Matières Premières.
It's a very uplifting fragrance. It smells like lemon peel, so squeezed lemon peel, blended with a spicy, smoky tea. And I will say that in the dry down, the smokiness of the tea is really gonna come out, and it's almost like a roasted mate tea note. Beautiful citrus tea perfume for the gentleman if you want something that's very refreshing. More of a summer fragrance for sure. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this in the winter. I would also recommend this for a beach or destination wedding. A really beautiful creation from Matières Premières. Now, what about the fragrances that I've chosen for my wedding? Well, I actually have two fragrances, one for the civil wedding and one for the ceremony. I haven't yet chosen the order in which I would be wearing those, but I decided to go for a perfume that represented me the most, that was the most personal to me. And if you've been watching my channel, you probably know by now that I am a big fan of florals. I specifically like white florals, and I like perfumes that are also elegant and sophisticated. That is what I am looking for in a wedding scent. I am not looking for a perfume that is extremely intoxicating, very opulent. I do love these perfumes, but personally I wouldn't wear them for my wedding day. I'm looking for something a little bit more toned down that accompany me throughout this important time. So the first fragrance that I chose for my wedding is 1957 by Chanel, and this is part of the Exclusif collection. And I did want a Chanel fragrance for my wedding. Why? Because Chanel is such a timeless brand and has created beautifully crafted fragrances. It's chic and also very French. And what I like so much about this fragrance is that it is soft, clean, and inviting. It is essentially a musky perfume with some light florals. You have jasmine, orange blossom, and iris. So it's really celebrating more the lighter aspects of white flowers rather than a very sensual aspect. I wouldn't say this is a sexy fragrance per se, but it is a perfume that makes me feel good. I feel beautiful when wearing this scent, and I guess that's kind of what you want to feel like on your wedding day. If I had to compare it to a garment, this is the softest of cashmeres. It's an extremely comforting scent, and that's what I love about it as well. 1957 by Chanel, my first wedding scent. And the second fragrance, funny enough, has similar ingredients to the first one. You have the iris again. It is quite musky as well. It is Apollonia by Xerjoff. And at first, you would maybe think this is a skin scent because it's not incredibly strong. In fact, my fiance couldn't even smell it on me, but it doesn't matter because I can smell it and it makes me happy. So Apollonia is based around iris as well, but I would say that the florals in this scent compared to 1957 are bolder. There's something that is really intriguing about this perfume. There's like a light earthiness to it that gives it, I don't want to say grit because it's not like dirty in any way, but it gives it a little bit more character. That's what I mean. The florals have much more character and actually, to me, are a little bit reminiscent of those in Narciso for Her by Narciso Rodriguez, so the EDT, which is the black bottle. So it's a little bit reminiscent to that, which I really enjoy, but it's made in a more elegant and delicate way in Apollonia. This perfume makes me feel very feminine, it's whimsical, it's sophisticated, and really luxurious. So I'm just obsessed with this scent, just as much as 1957 by Chanel, and I cannot wait to wear these fragrances for my wedding day. So this concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed discovering some of these fragrances. Let me know in the comments down below which of these perfumes you'd like to try. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, spread the fragrant love.